man, you know, it's hard to say a company's great when they severely underpay. Decided to start hiring and training people right out of trucking school. There is no way somebody fresh out of school should be driving on this account. Alrighty, what is good people? Slowly going fast, and we are back in the Subaru. Alright, we're about to go pick up the girls, so I figured I'd do a little quick conversation. We are out here in sunny Southern California is where we are. It's a tongue twister, I guess. But yeah, so we'll talk about the Subaru in another video. We will talk about the 392 in another video. But I do got updates on both. But for now, this is for the people who follow the trucking blogs and follow trucking news and everything else that's been going on in the trucking industry, right? So let's get right to it. I guarantee I look crazy with this whole head rig setup I got going on, but we gotta do what we gotta do, right? So my job, JB Hunt, and more specifically the Smart and Final El Super account that I work on, has decided to start hiring and training people right out of trucking school. Now, do I wish they were doing this when I got hired? 1,000%. 1,000% I wish they were doing this when I got hired. Not when I got hired here, but when I got my license. I wish they were doing this when I got my license, because that would have made my life so much easier, instead of me going 6 months over the road and then being with Swift Intermodal for a year and a half. I could have jumped straight to a decent, I'm not gonna say good or great, but a decent account, and could have got the ball rolling a lot earlier, being local, making a little bit more money, because I wasn't making nothing with May. I wasn't making literally nothing. Although I always say this when I mention May, great starter company, great driver treatment, great dispatchers, very personable company. They only have about 900 drivers. Great company. But that pay, man, you know, it's hard to say a company's great when they severely underpay you. So, like I was saying, this account specifically deals with 53-foot trailers, dry vans, and 53-foot reefer vans, right? And there is no way somebody fresh out of school should be driving on this account. None. There's no way, because the streets you have to navigate through, we have a lot of deliveries to LA and the LA surrounding areas, which, you know, if you're from out here, Southern California, you'll know that like LA spans the tight streets, and the tight, you know, areas span for, you know, over 100 miles, at least over 100 miles. So Southern California is just full of tight streets and tight spots. And what I mean by that is Smart and Final and El Super, these stores aren't always easy to get into. Some of these stores are literally extremely hard to pull into. Most of them are fairly easy for a seasoned person, but I can only imagine how hard it would be if you are just fresh out of school trying to back into some of these places, because a lot of backings you have to blindside back. And if you are regional and you're in a sleeper, good luck. And it's this is your first job right out of school, good luck, man. You know, when I was first coming out of school and I was working with May, I had a really good trainer, and I was over the road, so I was going to DC's, distribution centers. I was going to DC's, and that's it, really. I was going from DC to DC dropping off. You know, I think the hardest drop-offs I would have would be at maybe a Costco when I was with May. And that was for the first 6 months. I was never going to a store where sometimes they don't have docks. Some of these stores literally don't have docks at all, and you just have to pull up and pull behind the store somewhere, and they're gonna load the pallet jack, the electric pallet jack, in there for you, and you have to unload the truck like that. So for somebody coming fresh out of school, this would be hard. I'm telling you, it would be hard. You know, I think you should get more experience as, say, a yard dog first. That way you have plenty of experience just backing. All you're doing is backing trucks all day. You know, when I first came out of school, at the school I went to, we only did 25-foot trailer. We only had a 25-foot trailer the whole time. So when I got to May and they were testing us the first like couple times on a 53-foot trailer, you know, we all were nervous because none of us had touched a 53-foot trailer. None of us. Don't hit me, guy. Cause you on my bumper kind of tough here. You know, in this little Kia electric SUV you got. So when I first got out of school, went to May, they had this little test that they do, right? And it's like 4 backing spots. I was in Oregon, and I was trying to, you know, learn the 53-foot, and it took a minute. It took a minute, man. I never did the 53-foot, and I was pretty serious about learning too, because I had, you know, I've always had, no, I won't say always, but for a while I've had my VR set up, right? I've had my home VR set up. I have a steering wheel, I have pedals, I have shifters. So when I was going through the trucking school, I downloaded American Trucker, and I was learning how to back in a VR headset in that trailer. I mean, in that simulator. And I feel like it gave me a leg up when it came to doing I forgot what that stupid snake backing is that you do at the DMV and all that. I felt like it gave me a leg up because I was at home practicing also. It really gives you a leg up using the VR because you get used to that left-right movement of the trailer depending on your steering wheel and how you're turning the truck, right? The tractor. And actually, like I said, you know, when I got to May, they taught me how to move a 53-foot trailer around, and how you're pushing it and not driving it like you do a 25-foot. You know, with a 53-foot, you're literally pushing it. And the way I actually got it down, because I kept messing up, and the way I got it down was, if I was standing outside of this trailer, pushing it from the tractor end of the trailer where there's no wheels, if I was pushing it, how would I push this trailer? And that's how I actually got it down and was able to park that 53-foot. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it at some of these Smart and Finals and some of these. You know, imagine being in like LA off Hawthorne, busy traffic, mad people, and you have to do a blindside back into the middle. You have to go into the middle of the street and then back into the store. And you've never blindsided before, and you've never docked before in your life. That, man, come on. This is not an account for people fresh out of school. JB Hunt, I'm not sure if they're short on drivers, I'm not sure, but you know, this ain't the way. And I think it's kind of crazy, but to me, this ain't the way. And if you're losing drivers, here's some advice: maybe pay us a little bit more, and people will stop leaving. You know, I know these big companies don't care because they just cycle through drivers like underwear. But fam, you guys if you pay people a little bit more, they will stay more, they will work harder, they will show up to work every day. You know, we got a lot of people that call off almost once a week because it's like, who cares? What am I really missing? You know, but yeah, we'll see. We will definitely see. Because I think we're gonna have more accidents, we're gonna have more incidents and more problems with this new hiring system they got. But hey, that's all I got for this one, man. We're on to the next one. like I said, update on the Subaru's coming, whether I'm gonna keep it or not.